What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the #1 comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Married at First Sight. This is season 14, episode 13, and the episode is called Poppin Questions. Now, before I get started, for those who are new to my channel, I do detailed reviews of reality shows. I don't go over every single scene, but I pick out, I guess, the scenes or situations that stick out to me. And I may even pick up an extra detail or two that you may not have seen. So as far as Married at First Sight series, what I do couple by couple. So tonight we're going to be doing Steve and Noi. And before I get started, just do a little, I guess, a disclaimer or whatever. In case y'all know I'm a little behind on my videos because as I sent that post out, I'm working and building my real estate career, and I probably got bags under my eyes now, just trying to get it done. But I'm here, I'm still working, I'm grinding. A lot of people reached out and wondered if I was gonna do a video and all of that, and I was just letting them know like, hey, I'm trying to get there. I'm a little tied down, but again, even when I'm tired, that gives me the energy to keep on going with this because again, as I say, I don't make it up. This is y'all channel. I am the #1 commenter, but it wouldn't be nothing without y'all, without the comments, without us interacting and just having a whole lot of fun. So I really mean that because again, I say it again, I do this for y'all. I will be happy to be on my favorite YouTube channel, just typing in my comments, a mile a minute, but we here. So that's what I ask from y'all. Get down in those comments. I don't push for the likes or the subscriptions, but I need those comments. That is the energy that keeps me going. So let's go ahead and get into this first segment with Noi and Steve because one of the Dub fans would say, like, hey, I'm looking for you. Are you going to do Married at First Sight? I'm looking for, but can you just crank out Noi and Steve first? And I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Because, agreed, this is the one I probably wanted to put out anyway, but it was a request of the Dub fam. So we're going to go get right into it. So it starts off with Noi. She's in her confessional, and she's in her, what I would call her safe place. She's out at the basketball court, out, I guess outside the shared apartment, because this, when I call it a safe place, is this is the only place that she could really tell her truth. And she mentioned in the confession that it's really hard for her and Steve to effectively communicate. And I wonder about that because she's always talking about how great things are and how wonderful things are and all that. So I'm just wondering, that kind of conflicts. If y'all don't have strong communication, y'all are missing a big part of a true relationship. So Noi is pretty much saying that it's come to a point where in order for her or them to make the right decision, they really have to be honest with each other and I guess say what they want, because if not, they just playing around or faking throughout the relationship. So we see Noi and Steve. They both meeting with the so-called experts separately. Dr. Pepper's meet with Steve, and Pastor Cal's meet with Noi. So Pastor Cal, when he's talking to Noi, he immediately brings up this social media situation and saying like how damaging it can be in a marriage. If it's like, I guess if it's used improperly. And Noi's just nodding and agreeing right along with him. And, after that, Noi seems like, she's okay with what Pastor Cal said. But Pastor Cal then gets into Noi's favorite subject, which happens to be the subject of financing. Noi's pretty much saying that is a missing piece in their marriage, and that just Steve doesn't have a job. She flat out said that like what she wants to know from Steve is, can you get a job? And Pastor Cal, he kind of laughed it off or whatever, and just saying like, if that's what you want to know, why haven't you had those conversations? And Pastor Cal was pretty much bringing up Noi's past and stating that like her wanting Steve to have a job just runs so much deeper because she came up through poverty. Noi came up through the refugee camp. She wants, they were sleeping outside, and Steve wants to live outside. So, I always see that they bring a conflict here. That's one of her triggers or her insecurities, and you want the man that like believes in her insecurity, just living free, doing what he wants, and having no structure. So Pascal pretty much, made up Noi's love language and said, now your love language is security. That's the way you need to be loved. To say, hey, secure me. And I totally get why Noi is bothered and upset, because that's something she believes in. That's something that drives her from since she was a child, that she doesn't want to live in poverty. And again, Married at First Sight matched them up purposely to set Noi off. And I just don't, what I want to say, I just, at this point, I'm more so looking for Noi to like speak up. But again, I see Noi's side. How many times do I have to tell you, hey, I grew up in a hut with no windows and no toilet and no air conditioning and no nothing. I don't want to live outside. I want to know when the money's coming in, how much is coming in, and how we going to live. Is that too much to have? I want to build something with you so when we have our 2.5 children, we can be okay. That's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask at all. So I just want Noi to just have that conversation instead of, I guess, hemming and hawing and sneak dissing Steve on IG about like what he ain't doing and or how she's so unhappy. So we see Dr. Pepper, she meeting up with Steve, and shout out to Dr. Pepper. She had that big rollie on, that big two-tone rollie on. I can appreciate stuff like that because I am a person who's like really into watches, so I respect what Dr. Pepper was wearing. It was a very, very nice timeless timepiece. So shout out to Dr. Pepper. She know what she's doing. That's something that watch will outlive her. So Dr. Pepper and Steve are having a similar conversation about Noi's abuse of social media, because Steve is just saying like it's really a problem that she's feeling a certain kind of way, but not able to talk to him. But not only that, he's had this conversation directly with Noi and saying like, it bothers him that she's posting these things in reference to him and their marriage. And she continues to, I guess, overstep that bound or cross that boundary. And Steve doesn't really understand. Noi isn't going to just stop doing it. She's going to have to grow out of that. And that's a shame where like, Noi's in her late 20s and she's acting like a little teenager or whatever. But however, that's something going on with the new generation. And it could be other generations, but mainly the new generation, where they feel like they have to vent their anger and pain and put their lives on display for everybody who don't even care about their lives, but that's their way of releasing. So when they have a bad day, they got to tell you. When they eating a cheeseburger, they got to show you. When their kids go to first grade, we got to take 3,000 pictures. We got to know, just too much. But that's another generation that I don't understand. But Steve doesn't realize that Noi ain't gonna just stop and break out of that. But I get why Steve is just so frustrated about it, because it's just like a no-win. He's saying that pretty much, my family follows you, or anybody who knows us is gonna think we're having trouble or issues, and you're displaying it for the world. And he has a right to feel like that. And I was just paying attention to the outside, and it looked pretty. It looked like a pretty nice, like a spring day or whatever the case may be. But when Dr. Pepper mentioned finances, Steve took a giant gulp of his drink. Looked like it was 150 degrees outside. He was sweating, a lump in his throat. Go when he get to drinking and get nervous. And I'm gonna tell you like this, like, I don't make this exaggeration up to make y'all feel some kind of way. I'm telling you, I do this for y'all. I hate watching Steve create these word salads that don't make any sense concerning his finances. It I guess Noy feels the same way. It insults my intelligence. And when you insult my intelligence, you playing with my emotions. I'm a Pisces. I am emotional. So I take it almost personally. Even though it's a TV show, it's aggravating to watch. Like, I know we all, let's say we come from different places, we communicate differently, we have different triggers, all those kind of things. But the fact when you can look at somebody and they playing in your face and making up all these excuses why they can't answer your question, to me is like, it's quite ridiculous. It's quite ridiculous. And at this point, I even have to pull myself out of it and say, you know what? If Noy keep having the same issues 14, 15 times in a row with Steve, let it have. You know that girlfriend who just won't let a guy go, and you know he dogging her out. She know he dogging her out. But when you start caring more about her than yourself, then you're in the wrong place. And that's how I feel about this situation. I'm telling you, I do this for y'all. It aggravates. I almost want to fast forward because I don't want to hear no more about the finances. It don't take nobody that long to get to that situation. But okay, so Steve is pretty much telling Dr. Pepper, you gotta clear that lump in his throat. Well, I want to create a environment where all those things can be had to make Noy comfortable and everything, and it's just ridiculous. I'm done with it. I don't even want to touch it no more. It's ridiculous. Like Dr. Pepper looking at him like, what are you talking about? You're not even making sense. What are you talking about? All right, let me move on. So we see Steve and Noy. They back at the spotless shared apartment. It's not that spotless, but it's all right. So Steve immediately brings up with Noy, I guess because they're going over the conversation they had with the so-called experts. He was saying, like, when you put that "you deserve better" post out on IG, that bothers him. And Noy, now she does a Steve move. She playing with his intelligence, telling him like, that wasn't about you. But then turn right back around and say, well, that's how I feel sometimes within the marriage. Which one is it, Noy? You do feel like that? You don't feel like that? When Noy don't want to talk about something, she get like real tight-lipped. Like, she can barely open her mouth. Like she don't want to talk and she don't look at Steve. That may be a cultural thing. I know that can be. But I'm still waiting to see Noisy, that her alter ego that's just so much fun and outgoing and outspoken. But I can't recall saying Noisy. I've been saying Noy, the lady who's passive aggressive and who doesn't like truly want to communicate. And Steve is, like I said, Steve is saying he's really hurt behind it, because just to know that he doesn't feel like he's enough. So he's saying, let's get to the conversation where we need to find out what is enough or who is enough for you. And, Noy be hitting all kind of just, she be like halfway laughing in Steve's face. But when he said like, what do you need? Noy put her head on the back of the couch like, are you for real? You want to do this here? Are you for real? You know what I need. You know what I need. And Noy, she piped up. She got it going and was telling him like she needs a partner who is going to show that, I guess, he's financially secure. Like in her confession, she was saying, I just need somebody who's going to, contribute to pay the bills so we can live and for our children, which isn't unreasonable. It's not unreasonable, but I remember Steve was saying back in the conversation, he kind of felt like, when he's talking to Dr. Pepper, that he kind of felt like he was going to become pretty much like this money machine that's supposed to, I guess, meet Noy's needs, and he didn't want to be that or whatever. And, Steve, when, again, you talk about them conversations, he get more lumps in his throat, and he got to, get that word salad going. He tossing up, talking, well, we can sit down and talk about it. I'm like, y'all sitting down and y'all talking about it. But pretty much he's saying he's going to get a financial plan together for NOI. And that's what we all been waiting for, including NOI. It's not unreasonable. No one needs to see Steve's bank statements, his W-2s, his 1099s, none of that stuff. We need to see a plan, and then we need to see him execute it. Because rightfully so, if you're talking about building with somebody, you do need to have something more than your savings. Even if it's 100,000, even if it's 200,000, you need to get something going. If you're talking about building, living in the RAV4, camping out under bridges, that's fine if you got 100,000 in the bank. I guess you eat Lunchables and sardines and drink tap water. I don't know, but yeah, that works. But when you're trying to build something, no, that don't work. It don't work at all. But it's getting to the point where I got to understand other people, some people, I'm going to say some people, the Steve fans out there, they're okay with him being elusive and vague and all over the place. Because you know why? A lot of people have people right in front of them who don't talk to them straight up. They're not used to communicating directly, or they're used to accepting anything that comes out their mouth and be like, okay, or they into sweeping things under the rug, or not wanting to get in conflict. So I'm kind of really getting it now, because this is absolutely ridiculous and absurd that we almost at decision day and we still wondering about the finances. And Steve wonders why NOI doesn't want to live with him and want to mix her money with his. Why? So he can give her a story, and then he'll be living off her when the savings run out, or he'll have to try to find opportunities to create more money when he's ready for it. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's crazy. So I'm gonna tell you this. The day is here. The day we've been waiting for. Steve got his little laptop. He ready to have the financial conversation. You know, he got something with him. He got like a air of confidence about him. Like he about to lay it down. He got the spreadsheets and everything up on the computer. He got the columns going and all that. And NOI pretty much saying, like, in the confessionals, I need to see some income coming in to feel good. I need that. How we gonna build? How we gonna grow? And so we get to it, and Steve was saying, like, he wants to. He's got his laptop set up, and he said, I got a financial column here, and then he started talking about he got shared chores. No, Steve, we want to see the numbers. Men lie. Women lie. Numbers don't. Show us the money, Steve. Show what you're going to contribute. Give NOI your plan of how you're going to support and help upbring and build the household y'all going to build together. He ain't got none of that. He's still talking about, well, as far as me taking a full-time, now I don't mind taking a full-time job, but in some cases there may be better opportunities where I can just like work less and make more of the money than a full-time job. And then I have created successful apps, and I do different entrepreneurial things. So in NOI, like, oh, here we go again with this bull. Here we go again, and he don't stay on finances long, and he don't provide no numbers. Again, NOI isn't looking for his bank statement. She want to know, this is how I'm going to create some money, and this is what I'm going to contribute. This is what I'm pledging. Steve ain't got none of that. He talking so much far away about a full-time job. He trying to talk NOI out of her full-time job. And for those who have careers, unless there's some type of an emergency, you cannot take off your full-time job for an extended period of time to dream and imagine your future. That don't work. But I already know where Steve head at, regardless of the apps and all that. Again, we ain't got no numbers. The man can't. He was working a job for 4 years, which is no time. It's no time at all. That's no time. 4 years at a job, and he got laid off. So we know what his idea of stability is. So I was just so confused about now, not only is he trying to talk himself out of the full-time job that he won't take, he trying to get Noi to come off her full-time job in time for Dream. But Noi kind of lights up when they bring up the subject of babies, and she's down with it, and that little mouth started to open up when he's trying to figure out the plan of having babies, and Noy's saying pretty much he want to have a baby by like next year, and Steve was like, yeah, well, I guess we're gonna have a busy month, and they laughed or whatever and got onto the diapers or whatever, but that's unrealistic. And you talking about babies cost a lot of money. I said a lot of mummy. Babies cost a lot of money, and it's unpredictable what can happen in a pregnancy, or if Steve gonna have to hold things down, or if he just hit or miss, or who knows. It's just so unstable. I don't, and pretty much that was the last scene, but I don't believe Noi has bought into his plan. I think she likes the idea that they're having conversation about having children, but she don't even want to live with him. So that was pretty much it for the scenes, other than they were scheduled to head to a couples volleyball game, and Noi all of a sudden had a splitting headache where she couldn't go. And Steve was happy to go. He hopped in the RAV4, and he didn't care. He just loves adventure, and he loves to dream. So that was pretty much it for the episode. Yeah, Noi and Steve, we still wondering about the money. We're gonna be wondering about the money on decision day. So drop down in the comments. Tell me what y'all thought. Has any of y'all Steve fans converted over to the light and understand that Steve is still playing games with this money? Or, of course, we know Noi is her name. She's annoying. She's immature. She's not ready for marriage, but I don't see her as a person who's looking like what Steve thinking he's an ATM. She wants a husband that contributes to the household y'all talking about building. You can't raise your children on dreams. You got to provide something for them to live off of. So drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what I missed. Let's go back and forth, debate, and have fun with the Steve and Noi. And as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.